Roaring greetings, Detroit faithful. You've landed back at Lions News Fan Report, your one-stop hub for every sizzling update from the Motor City gridiron. And today, we've got a tale that's twisting expectations and stirring up intents. Speculation. Before we leap into the thick of it, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to Lions News Fan Report so you never miss a beat of the latest buzz. Now, let's dive in. Picture this. Late in the 2024 season, one of our most dominant interior defenders went down with a devastating knee injury, an ACL tear so severe it threatened to derail not just his year, but his entire trajectory as one of Detroit's emerging stars. Fans held their breath as he limped off the field, dreaming of his triumphant return but fearing the worst. Now, fast forward to spring practices, and whispers are growing louder. Could our sidelined stalwart be closer to a full-on comeback than anyone dared hope? Earlier this week, a surprise visit to the rehab facility by a veteran teammate, fresh from his own recent signing, sparked a flurry of fresh rumors. In a brief sideline chat with reporters, he praised our mystery man's work ethic, insisting, "He's smiling through every drill, grinding harder than ever," and hinting that progress is off the charts. Is it possible that this fierce competitor, known for his burst-off-the-snap and punishing power at the line, has managed to shave weeks off the most pessimistic timelines? Could this be the turning point that propels our interior defensive line from good to downright elite? Let's rewind to the facts we know. During his breakout stretch before the injury, he tallied career-high tackle numbers and even flirted with the league leaders in stops for loss. An impressive feat for any defensive tackle. Then came the 4-year, nearly $100 million extension, cementing his role as a franchise cornerstone. Yet with that payday came the pressure to perform, and after the ACL setback, questions swirled. Would his explosiveness return? Would he ever reclaim that violent first step that left so many blockers grasping at air? Now, despite conventional wisdom dictating a slow, cautious return, missing the first chunk of 2025, the chatter shifting through local beat writers and anonymous team sources paints a different picture. Some insiders claim they've seen footage of him powering through lateral agility drills without that telltale hesitation. Others report he's already back to near pre-injury levels on strength tests, leaving medical staff stunned. Could this mean we're looking at a sneak attack? Return mid-season, one blogger mused. Is Detroit about to unleash a defensive juggernaut when the calendar flips to October? Of course, the skeptics are vocal too. On social media, you'll find passionate debates. One fan warns that rushing him back could risk re-injury. Another counters that his contract demands nothing less than 100% effort and fast-tracked rehabilitation. But here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. Word is, our quiet rehab warrior isn't just meeting benchmarks, he's obliterating them. Reports suggest his injured knee is bearing weight and bending through full arc workouts that even healthy players dread. Some whispers go so far as to suggest the Lions brass quietly moved team physicians to a higher-tier specialist, signaling franchise-wide confidence in a sooner-than-expected green light. And let's not overlook the domino effect. On roster strategy, rumblings are that front office architects originally prepared to lean heavily on depth reserves for the early season months. Yet, after observing our comeback kids' astonishing rehab gains, they reportedly shelved plans to sign an additional interior lineman, convinced the breakout star will be back in the fold well before Halloween. Could the Lions be orchestrating a masterstroke, timing his official return announcement to coincide with a high-profile Week 5 clash against an NFC North rival? Imagine the electricity when he storms the field, reinvigorating the defense just when opponents thought they had us figured out. What remains to be seen is how this narrative will unfold as training camp dawns. Will the player himself address the media, finally naming his own target date and shattering the cautious timelines? Or will the front office orchestrate a slow build reveal, drip-feeding highlights of his rehab to drive fan engagement and ticket sales? One thing's certain, This story has more layers than any Sunday box score, and every new development will send Detroit into a frenzy of analysis, memes, and highlight breakdowns. Stay locked in right here on Lions News Fan Report, because as this sensational saga continues to unfold, we'll be right there, dissecting every workout, every medical bulletin, and every insider whisper. The question that looms above it all: will our interior defensive titan return not just as good as before, but stronger, hungrier, and unstoppable? Keep those notifications on and get ready for the next chapter, because if these rumors hold true, Lions Country is about to witness one of the most inspiring comebacks in franchise history. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Lions News Fan Report if you haven't already, because you won't want to miss a single update as this story develops. Now, here's where things get even more intriguing. Reports now suggest that our mystery defensive Titan's rehab has reached a pivotal crossroads. Sources inside the facility claim he's begun live contact simulations under the watchful eyes of Detroit's medical staff. Could this be the moment when theory turns into reality and he's finally cleared to rejoin full-team drills? Imagine the shockwaves that would send through the NFC North locker rooms. Behind the closed doors of Ford Field, the veteran strength coaches have apparently elevated their game plan. Word is they've integrated a customized neuromuscular program. Think advanced plyometrics merged with precision gait analysis to ensure his surgically repaired knee can handle snap-after-snap punishment. Some insiders are whispering that his single-leg squat strength now matches or even slightly exceeds that of his healthy teammates. Is this mastery of strength and stability the secret weapon that will make his comeback not just successful, but legendary? Could his journey become the blueprint for future ACL rehabs league-wide? But let's consider the timing. Training camp officially kicks off in late July, and the Lions have a packed preseason slate to evaluate every roster spot. If our star returns to practice, and more importantly, to live drills, by mid-August, he stands to reclaim his role before the regular season opener. On the flip side, any hiccup could push that debut into September or beyond, and at that point, the narrative shifts from inspiring to cautionary. Would the front office risk his long-term health for an earlier splash, or will they prioritize his career lifespan over short-term gains? This high-stakes balancing act could define the entire 2025 campaign. Now, here's the kicker. While everyone's eyes are glued to the practice field, some savvy observers noticed subtle roster moves that hint at the front office's confidence. Earlier this week, the Lions quietly declined to pursue veteran rotational tackles who were expected to be hot commodities. Instead, they turned their attention toward bolstering linebacker depth, almost as if they're banking on our comeback star to fortify the interior line. If that's the case, the front office may already be mentally penciling him into the Week 1 lineup. Could this off-the-field maneuver be the clearest signal yet that they anticipate his return sooner rather than later? And what about the psychological edge? Teammates have described his presence, even in recovery, as electric, a rallying force that lifts morale. Envision the moment when he strides onto the field in full pads for the first live team session. The cameras will lock in, the commentators will erupt, and defenses across the league will take notice. Could that single snapshot redefine our season narrative, transforming the Lions from playoff hopefuls into legitimate contenders overnight? Statistics also paint a compelling picture. When healthy, our inside run stopper averaged over 2 tackles for loss per game, ranking in the top 5 among defensive tackles league-wide. If he replicates even 75% of that disruptive impact upon return, opponents facing Detroit's ground and pound schemes will think twice before running between the tackles. And let's not ignore the domino effect. His return could free up DJ Reader to roam more aggressively, unleashing a tag-team terror that few offensive lines can withstand. Could this be the strategic advantage that catapults us toward a division crown? Now it's your turn. Do you believe our interior defensive star will storm the line of scrimmage by Week 1? Or will the Lions play it safe and unveil him later in the season? Which scenario excites you most, and what does it mean for our playoff aspirations? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I can't wait to read your predictions. If you enjoyed this deep dive, slam that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and ring the bell so you never miss a single rumor, update, or insider scoop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for more breaking news and high-octane speculation.